God bless everyone. I hope you're having a great day. I want to make this quick video to just do an overview about the evaluation process for our District Fine Arts Festival. But before I start, I just want to take a moment to just say thank you. Thank you so much for giving of your time, of your knowledge, your love to the young people of our district. Thank you so much for just your willingness to pour into them and invest in them, knowing that they hold amazing potential. And I truly believe that it is your guidance, your tips and techniques that will help mold and guide them in their gifting so they can better serve in their local churches and in their communities. So thank you so much. This event is truly not possible without you. So thank you so much. So I wanted to make this video just to do an overview about the evaluation process and what to expect, the things to look for. Many of you have been evaluators at a district festival before, and some of you have not. So I want to make sure that we're all on the same playing field and that the expectations are clear. I don't want to make anybody feel nervous or confused or kind of lost the day of the festival. So let's go ahead and start with the basics. This is our Fine Arts Rulebook. Many of you guys are familiar with it. I will go ahead and link a PDF version of this below if you need to look at it. In it, it holds every single category that we have to offer. But the awesome thing about the evaluation forms that we use is that it points out all the criteria for every single category involved. So you do not have to memorize our rule book from cover to cover. It's helpful to be familiar with it if you need to look something up. It's awesome to have as a resource, but the really cool thing is that you don't have to memorize all of it to become an evaluator for fine arts. So let me go ahead and introduce the evaluation form. It looks something like this. On the top, you'll find the category name. On the top part, you will have the participant information. All of that will already be pre-filled out for you. The scoring will be on the top right-hand side, and then our grading scale is right below it. Then on the bottom is all the space for your comments and your helpful instructive notes and motivating comments. And on the bottom is where you'll find the criteria for every single category. So this will differ depending on the category. For example, this particular form is for a vocal solo. So the criteria includes expressiveness and posture, breathing, diction, dynamics, intonation, phrasing, tone quality, memorization, preparation, and all of that will differ if it's something for a short sermon. So all the criteria will be different depending on the category, but it's really, really great to see that it's already on there for you. You don't have to memorize all of this for every single category. So that's really helpful. I want to go over how you score, or what are the qualities that we're looking for. So the Fine Arts Festival is based on a point system out of a possible 40. And those 40 points are divvied up into 4 different categories, or 4 different sections. So 5 of those points are for selection. 10 of those points are for communication. 15 of those points are for presentation and technique, and another 10 for effectiveness, adding up to a total of 40 points. And then depending on what they get, the grading scale is as follows. So if a student receives up to 25 points, it's a fair grade. 26 to 30 is a good, 31 to 35 is excellent, and 36 to 40 is what we call a superior with invitation, which qualifies them to go to the national level of fine arts, which this year will take place in Anaheim, California. So yeah, that's the biggest that they could get. And the way that I have learned to divvy up my note taking, because we have to kind of make note on every single part of the criteria. So a note on selection, communication, presentation and technique, and effectiveness. When I get my evaluation form, I like to divvy up my page into 4 different parts so that I can kind of lay out my notes, and it just becomes more visually easier for me to figure out my note taking. So when I get my forms, I like to split it up like this, and you can use this technique or not. It's totally up to you. I like to split it up and then put SC, PT, and E on it for selection, communication, presentation and technique, and effectiveness on it, so that I have a layout for all the notes that I'm supposed to take. And it just makes it easier for me to make sure that I'm covering everything and that I'm making note on all the different aspects of their presentation. So I want to also give you guys a few examples, starting with a not so good example for evaluation form. So this is just a sample. This is no one in particular. So this is what we kind of don't want to see. Starting off with the fact that this judge did not finish the scoring. The notes are very vague. This was for a female vocal solo, and this sample judge said, "Great job, thanks for singing. I wish I would have seen more of your range. I don't really like this song." So notes like that, that are super subjective and not specific and helpful, don't really help mold our young people's talent. So something like this isn't going to be very helpful, versus the good example would look something like this. The top part, the scoring is completely finished, and look at all those gorgeous notes. And the way this evaluator did it is for selection, communication, presentation, and technique and effectiveness. She just wrote A, B, C, D. So you can do it whatever way you want to. You can do it like this, or you can just, I separate my page like that. You can use whatever way works for you. But she wrote for her selection, "I love this song, great song, nicely arranged." For communication, she wrote, "Don't be afraid to take control of the room, even as you're approaching the stage. Communicate with your body language that you are confident in the message that you will sing about." For presentation and technique, she talked about being flat a few times, and then she wrote ways that she can correct that for future performances. So that's also important to give feedback. She wrote, "Take a deep breath. Make sure to open your throat and mouth as much as possible to maximize resonation." And then she wrote, "For effectiveness, wonderful impact in ministry. Thank you so much for sharing your gift." So that's pretty much what we want to see and in every evaluation. And this evaluator used the approach that the national office encourages us to use, which is the approach called the sandwich method. And so they like to call it that. And it's basically this. We want to start off with a compliment, something motivating, followed by a specific and helpful instruction, followed by another critique, and then something complimentary and nice to round it out at the end. So something nice, something more critical, specific, helpful techniques, so another critical tip again, and then following with another nice compliment at the end. And you will see the score, the points that you give out follow that scale. So for example, the good judge, she did nice, helpful, and some tips, helpful and some tips, and then followed by something nice at the end. And you'll see that the score reflects that as well. Selection is worth 5, effectiveness is worth 10. The bulk of the points are found in the middle. So for the most part, for every selection and effectiveness, we go ahead and just give full credit for the most part. Of course, if something is inappropriate, which never happens, then they get docked. But for the most part, selection and effectiveness always gets full credit, 5 and 10. And then you're focusing most of your time on communication, communication and presentation and technique. You're focusing most of your time on those middle parts to give specific, purposeful instruction and guidance in those two areas. So it's important to just keep that sandwich method in mind. Nice, helpful, nice at the end, so that we all have a rounded out evaluation form, and they all are helpful. So that way we all have a game plan. Another thing I wanted to make sure to mention is that we want to make sure that our participants are as comfortable as possible. They know that you guys are youth leaders and worship leaders, pastors, and professionals in your areas of expertise. And it's already a very intimidating, nerve-wracking experience as it is to not only present their gifts maybe in front of their peers or church, but also in front of you. So we want to make sure that we're not, those grumpy judges who are just, sitting there waiting for you to mess up and dock points. That's not the environment that we want to create. We want to make sure that we are smiling, giving them our eye contact, undivided attention, so that they feel supported even by the judges, and even if we're not saying anything to them, with a nod and a smile, making them feel comfortable and letting them know that we are there to support them every step of the way. So just wanted to make a quick note about that. We also want to make sure that every note and comment that we make is purposeful. We want to go ahead and start everybody with an average score of 33, and then we move up or we move down accordingly. We want to be generous with the points. We don't want to give, somebody a total score of 15, which isn't even on the grading scale. For the most part, none of our students get fair. Very, very rarely does any of our students get 26 to 30 for a good. For the most part, our students are in that excellent range, and then we make sure to move to the Superior with Invitation, those students that we know are ready for the Fine Arts Festival, and give them a Superior with Invitation. We also don't want to just hand out Superior with Invitations to students and then have them feel even more discouraged when they come to the national level and become intimidated by the level of talent that is present at the national level. We don't want to discourage them even more. So we want to be encouraging, and we want to be very helpful to them. We want to help them grow, and we want to be gracious in the points that we give, but also very purposeful so that we advance the young people that we know are ready for the fine arts national level. One more thing I wanted to mention is that I will have on the tables things like timers and little cheat sheets, so to speak, about different time limits and things like that. There is a space in the evaluation forms for point deductions, and that is found in the bottom part for rule violations or time violations. You'll see a -2 on those parts. I will go ahead and have that ready for you guys so that you know, oh, if this presentation went over 5 minutes, or specific rule violations for every category. That will be kind of written out for you, and if that is something that we have to consider, then we'll be there. But I want most of your time to be spent on just the notes, and I know it's a lot to do when you have about 7 to 10 minutes to get through every single participant. So I want most of your time focused on this. I will have someone at the table helping to guide and keep the program going, and helping you guys pass out the papers, things like that. So I want most of your time to be taken on all your notes and all the love and guidance that you will give our young people. So again, thank you. I hope this video was helpful, and if you have any other questions, please go ahead and let me know. I'm here to clarify anything. I will go ahead and also link below the PDF version of all of these evaluation forms if you want to take a closer look at them. It is a lot of them, so go ahead, and if you can print 1 or 2 or something so you have a good idea of what these look like, you can go ahead and do that. You can look at some of the criteria, but I am more than confident, and I believe that you guys will be awesome evaluators. You guys are people that I would love to get feedback from if I were participating. So thank you again so much for your love and your dedication to our district and to our young people. Truly, I can't do this event without you, and I'm so excited to see you guys in a few weeks at SED Youth Convention. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Have a great day, guys. God bless.